Hello, and welcome to episode 2 of learning the Geometry Dash level editor. Today, we will go over how to use the color trigger, then we'll look on how to use the pulse trigger, and then finally, we'll go over how to change just a group of objects and not just one color. So, with that said, let's get started. Alright, the color trigger. It can trigger anything in the background, so like the background, the middle ground, or even the ground color. Or you can change it to be just one color from the custom colors tab. Now looking inside, it looks complicated, but it's actually pretty simple. This is to select your color. This is your red, green, and blue. And you can copy down any hexes that you find online. And if that's the color that you want, you can use right here. Now over here, you can copy the color. And then if you go into another one, you can paste that color. The default option, just change it back to its default. This is the phase time. This fades it in over a certain amount of time, and that depends on what you set it to. As of right now, the default option is set to half a second. You can change that to be whatever, and depending on what color it changes to and what your ID is, it will change into that color in a set amount of time. Now, copy color, if you click that, you get up the hue, saturation, and brightness, or you can choose it to be either the player 1 or player 2 color. Now, the touch trigger, if the icon actually touches the trigger, it will activate, and if it misses, then it won't. With the spawn trigger, you use a spawn trigger, which I will go over in another video. This is the opacity. This is mainly used not for background, but for blocks. You can change, like, if you want to be kind of like invisible over a certain amount of time. Now this is the color ID. If you click this plus button, you can choose any background, or if you type in, so I'm just going to type in 5, it will change just color ID 5. Now let's talk about the pulse trigger. Now, this color is the same thing as the color trigger. Same with the copy and paste, so you don't have to worry about that part. It's just the same. And for the pulse mode, color and HSV are also the same, except you can do like static, and you can change like 2 of them at the same time. Now this is a target type. You can either do a certain color channel or just a group, which I'll go over in a little bit. There is also a touch trigger and a spawn trigger, which do the same thing as what I shared already. The fade in and fade out, you can fade it in for a certain amount of times, and then it can hold, and then you can fade it out after a little bit. Now we're going to look over on how to actually use the pulse trigger in your levels. For this example, I'm just going to use glowing blocks, but you can use whatever. So right now, they on color ID 1. So if I place down a pulse, and I go to color ID number 1, I'll just fade in for a second on each, and we'll fade in to red. So now if I click play, it'll fade in red over that time. Now if you want to just do a group, so let's say you have 2 platforms and you just want this one to turn red and this one to stay, what you would do is you select the ones that you want to turn red, you add them to a group, you go back to the pulse trigger and you select group, and then match the group ID with the group that you want to change color. And then if your blocks have details, then you can either choose just the main color or the detail color up here. So now if I click play, only that one turns and not this one. Alright, so going back to the color trigger, if you click object, I'll just set it to background, and I'll change the background to this kind of like pinkish. Fade in time, we will do 2.2. Now over that time, it will start to fade in, but the ground still isn't faded in, so we could fix that. Now if you just copy and paste it, and then you just bring it back here, instead of background, you will choose ground, 1 or 2. So now if we play, the ground starts to change with it. So that's how you use the color and the pulse trigger. I hope you find this tutorial helpful, and if you want more tutorials like these, leave a like. And don't forget to subscribe. But anyways, thank you for watching, and I'll see you all next time.